Hi guys, yeah, I'm not here to talk to you about work because that's not what I'm good in. I'm good in play. I'm good at playing. So yeah, actually I'm working in Beijing for I'm in Beijing for 6 years. I used to study in Beijing, so I continued working after I graduated. So I'm always in Beijing. And because I like to cycle, like some of you guys here, I see some people with nice cycles to work every day probably. I don't do that because sometimes I work from home. But yeah, but because I like to travel around China, that's why I decided to embark on a little journey to the west of China, like 去西天取经. Yeah, so here goes. It's down, right? Okay. So basically, I started this brute force expeditions. It's a small organization because it's only has 2 people, me and another partner in crime, which is Singaporean also. But he's unfortunately not here because he's studying in MIT now. So he's a brainy guy lah, huh? So yeah, so basically we did this back in 2014. It was for charity, as all of our expeditions are. And we finished this by bike. It was 3,000, not 3,200, sorry, it's 3,000. I recalculated, I think, because we made a lot of detours, so maybe it adds up to that, but it's just 3,000. Yeah, so this is me and my partner in crime. Okay, why I'm saying is partner in crime because basically this road to Tibet, as you can see here, I made this map here so it's easier to see. It's 3,000 kilometers from Chengdu to Kathmandu, and it's along this road called G318, GuoDan, 318 GuoDan. So this is the road that the Chinese actually used to consolidate their power in the region, okay, I would say, and to counter the threats from India lah, because you see India has no roads around the Himalayas. So this is one of the most important roads in China. It's 5,000 kilometers long. It starts from actually Shanghai. It starts from the Renmin Guangchang in Shanghai, and it ends in Zhangmu, which is the border with Tibet, with Nepal. So along this line, I'm showing you the elevation because we didn't go with a plan in mind. We just went blindly. We didn't know what to expect, and it was a crazy journey because and it was fun because we didn't know what to expect. And basically, there were in total 30 mountains to conquer, and each mountain is more than 4,000 meters high, which is a bit of a challenge at first, but eventually you got used to it after. Because basically, if you go to Lhasa, you have to travel every day with a mountain and come down in the evening, and next morning do the same, repeat the whole cycle again. So it's pretty much a tiring journey lah. Yeah. So okay. So we actually did a charity drive for Habitats for Humanity Nepal, which at that point of time they had this big earthquake, landslide at certain parts of the Nepal, central Nepal, and they needed funds. That's why we decided to support them, and actually we raised a very small amount. We raised like around 4K, 4,000 renminbi, not even Sing dollars, 4,000 renminbi, but it was enough to build half a house in Nepal, which is okay. I mean, it's not big, it's not significant, but it's a gesture lah, nonetheless. Okay, so this is how we started out. This is basically our dorm rooms back in Beta. So this looks like this is very messy. We didn't know anything. This was our first journey out by bike anywhere. So we didn't have any idea how to do this. We were just going blind, and it started out as a joke lah. So I told my friend, why not let's do something longer lah. Instead of like cycling around in Beijing, why not let's go further? And my friend, being the always the daredevil, he says, yeah, let's do that lah. So that's why we went on this journey, and it was a nightmare lah anyway. Yeah, so we started in Chengdu. We were fine. Everyone was happy, thinking that there's just flat roads because the first few hundred kilometers was flat roads. So we thought, okay, maybe the mountains weren't so bad lah. You really, because it was the first time I'm even climbing a mountain that's 5,000 meters high because I haven't never done that in my life. So to me, it's just another road. It's like I didn't know what to expect. Then came the mountains. This was in Sichuan. You see the nice trees and the nice gorges, the valleys that define the terrain there. This is the first mountain up. It's Erlangshan, the Erlangshan mountain that I think renamed this. So after you cross this mountain, you enter into the Tibetan region, the eastern part of Tibet, which was politically divided into Sichuan area to clamp down the riots there because the eastern Tibetans were more restive. It was a more restive region. So yeah, this is our first mountains. You can see the curves go up the mountain like this, and you can see it from the road itself, so it's very demoralizing. This happened for another like 40 or 50 times. So after a while, we got used to it. But at first, the first side of this, we just stopped beside the road and just took a break because we couldn't come to terms with the mountain. Yeah. So yeah, halfway through, as you can see, probably you can see that we are wearing slippers there instead of wearing proper shoes because we realized that it's more comfortable to wear slippers lah. And we got ourselves like a pair of slippers. This was maybe 15 yuan renminbi, and mine was 650 renminbi. I remembered. It lasted all throughout till we reached Nepal. So it was a very good pair of slippers, extremely good. Yeah. So basically we went to the. This was after the first mountain, the very first one. It's Zheduoshan. So it's Zheduoshan literally means 折磨太多人的山. Okay, because it's really literally very, very strenuous. And it's the first mountain that's only 4,200 meters high, but it's the first mountain that anyone has to go through to enter Tibet. So that was very bad. That was a very bad experience. I got a very bad bout of AMS, the altitude sickness. And I came down here and rested for 2 days here. And we had nothing to do, so we borrowed the Tibetan's motorbike and we went around the place to have a look. Yeah, this is the typical interior of a Tibetan house. It's a Kam house. Kam is the Kangpa Zhangzu. So there are like different sectors of sects from Tibet itself. So this is one of the sects. So they have like very nice adorned interior, and also like the copper wares there actually are the pride of the family. So if you have more copper bowls and cups and whatsoever, they actually mean that your family is richer, is wealthier. Yeah. So this is how a typical Kam house looks like. So we try to stay in like villages with Tibetans as far as possible, so we can interact with them instead of staying in Sichuan houses, because the whole road is actually quite a popular cycling route. I mean, every year you probably have a few hundred cyclists on this road going to Lhasa. So a lot of opportunistic Sichuan people, they open restaurants and accommodation options along the way, but they are usually not as clean as the Tibetan ones lah. So we usually take the Tibetan ones. Yeah, so this is another mountain road that we went to. Yeah, so basically it winds up, the switchback curves all the way up to the mountain. And the most demoralizing part about this thing is that once you reach this top part, you think you're done, right? You think you're finished, right? Then after, when you turn the corner, there's one more set of this in front of you, so it's very demoralizing lah, as you can see. And so we also took our time off, like because we are not that fit, honestly, because the fastest person did this in 8.5 days, from 2,700 kilometers in 2.5 days, which was, I think, it was crazy lah. Basically, I think he just took a road bike with him, and he had nothing on. But we took 60 days, by the way, from Chengdu just to go to Kathmandu. So yeah, so we took out, obviously we had a lot of time off lah. So we gave ourselves a holiday whenever we felt like it. So we went to pick mushrooms and truffles with the local Tibetans here. It was very fun. I mean, the bottom right hand corner, that's not edible. That's an example of a poisonous mushroom. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a typical day in the climbing process. Like they have a saying that, like, your legs are in hell but your eyes are in heaven. This is what they mean by it lah, I think. Yeah. Yeah, nice views, nice terrain, and very open areas that you won't see anywhere else. Which is why we actually go to Tibet, because it's a nice experience and it's an unforgettable one as well. Yeah. Yeah, nice scenery of yaks. Those are yaks. They are the livelihood of the nomadic Tibetans that are there. So they actually don't use, some Tibetans don't even use money. So they trade livestock for daily necessities like oil, sugar, whatsoever. But they usually don't kill the yaks as well until it's very necessary, or where the yaks have an accident somewhere, because yaks actually fall off cliffs and stuff like that. So once they fall off the cliff, they will eat the meat instead. Yeah, so it's a life cycle lah. Huh? Yeah, so Tibetans themselves are very carefree people. They enjoy company. They enjoy dancers and everything. So these people we met along the way, they actually came here to dance in the middle of the grass. So basically they come from different places. They come from like different villages. They got a bao che, right? Then they come all the way to the middle of nowhere. Then they started to party and have a picnic or whatsoever. Then at night they go back again. So this is a very interesting group of people we met along the way. And I think Tibetans really can enjoy life lah. I mean, they have the mountains, they have the grass and everything. They have nothing much to worry about. So this is an example of a road marker that is heavily vandalized by passing cyclists lah, from previous generations. This part of 318 is still in the Sichuan area. So it's like there's part of it in Sichuan and part of it in Tibet and part of it in Nepal. The Nepal one is not considered part of this road. Yeah. And one thing is that we actually smuggled ourselves across this road because it's not possible for foreigners to go through this road since 2012. We did this in 2014. We tried our best to acquire a license through whatever means we could, but unfortunately we couldn't for obvious reasons. So we decided to just try our luck, and our luck pushed through the entire way. So I just thank my lucky stars for giving me this chance to do this journey, because later I'll show you why it's difficult to get through. Yeah, so this is our daily meals along the way. It's very simple. You get porridge and xian cai in the morning, which is good because we have like 6 bowls of porridges before we leave the place, because it's free for all. It's free flow. You can eat until you are full, then you leave the place. So it's nighttime as well. Dinner is like this is Tibetan noodles made of green barley, the qingke. Yeah, and it is pretty nice actually. There's yak meat inside as well, so it's pretty nutritious. Yeah, so we were at the Tibetan border here. This is the bridge that separates Sichuan from Tibet. This below you is the below this bridge is the Jiang. It's the Golden Sand River that separates the Sichuan from Tibet. Then at that point of time, we decided to try our luck. So both of us, we actually got ourselves into a small cycling team. We met along the way. And we actually tricked them to bring us in. We told them we were from Guangdong, we lost our way, whatsoever. Nobody thought that we were foreigners. So they just brought us in. And we realized that actually the people who at the border, it was very strict. So if you are sitting on a car or any other transport, you have to come down and swipe your 身份证. So there's a machine for you to come down and press your ID against it and you can leave. But we didn't have IDs, right? So basically we just masqueraded ourselves in between the people and just got through in a mess because there was a massive jam there because of the morning traffic. Everybody was trying to go back, so they didn't have enough time for cyclists so we just we went in. It was easier than expected, to be honest, because I was expecting a harder challenge or a bigger battle, but it turns out that every single town and every single village has a checkpoint before and after the towns, which made life very difficult and very nasty for us. But we still made it in the end. Yeah, so this is a uphill from Nujiang below. There's another river. Right below is like maybe 200 meters below. The road goes up from here, and we stayed at the accommodation in the middle there. As you can see, the gorge here actually provides the spring water for the farming. So the only pockets of farming that's possible here is in the gorges, in the deep gorges available here. Yeah, which also makes cycling a nasty thing to do here. Yeah, so this little boy here gave me a nice pose in the midst of a green barley. Yeah, this is the green barley example I was talking about. So the only thing that grows there is actually green barley. There's nothing else that grows there. You can't even grow potatoes at certain places. So the diet is restricted to this. So they make everything from this. They make wine, alcohol. They make their noodles from this. They eat it like a tsampa, which is like a powdery thing they put with yak milk and drink it. We have it every day. It was sickening, but we had no choice. But we had to only eat that. Yeah. So the road is actually quite dangerous at certain places. But now if you go there to cycle or to even drive, it's very safe because they actually dug tunnels through all the mountains. So there's no longer, this old road is no longer maintained. But it used to be maintained by the People's Liberation Army, the police. There's a Wujing division in charge of maintaining the roads. And they are charged with maintaining the roads 24 hours after it's destroyed. So whatever the case it is, whether it's landslides or the earthquake or whatsoever, they have to reopen the road in 24 hours. That's why the road is always in good condition. I mean, not very good condition, but in passable condition. Yeah, you can see like the landslide. This happened yesterday, like one day before we actually went on the road. So it killed someone, like killed some cyclists. I think 2 or 3 cyclists were there under the rocks when it happened. And then this river on the left also took away some lives of cyclists also. And this pass is one of the many problems that we face along the road, because it's a lot of water, a lot of natural disasters in that road. Yeah, so we thought like cycling was the worst thing to do there until we met people walking. So, I mean, this is a different level. I mean, these people, they have been walking for 6 months and they are there and they are still halfway, not even, like this is Bomi, so it's like they have another 2 months left to walk. And this particular person had a like a la kan xiang, like a luggage. So I asked him, like, if your luggage breaks down, what happens? Then he told me that there's a strap he can carry the luggage along, but the luggage is like 25 kg or something. So I just told him, like, good luck to you. I just left. Yeah, but it's crazy. Like, I don't know if he made it in the end, but I think, yeah, there are a lot of crazy people along the way. Yeah, so the dog on the right, actually, okay, there's a legend, local legend that says that these dogs are the lives of the deceased people who tried to make this journey but didn't make it in the end. There are a lot of people who died, and they how do you call it? They were reincarnated into dogs, and these dogs actually followed us for many kilometers. This particular dog followed us for like 50 kilometers. So they kept walking beside us up the mountain until a certain place, and they turned back. So like one of the dogs actually was almost killed in an accident when we were there. Like, and the local people say that, this is because they are helping us do the 顶灾 lah. They're helping us 顶the 灾难. So yeah, we are thankful for this spiritual guidance from these dogs. Now it's a very nice scenery here. We see this every day along the way. So after a while it gets boring lah. But at first it's nice, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So eventually we reach Lhasa under the auspices of our. Under very, very good luck, we reached Lhasa after maybe 30 odd checkpoints along the way. We made it through all sorts of ways, and eventually we made it here. We were very, very happy. I cannot explain to you how happy I am, but I eventually reached here. I thought, I can give myself a break from all the cycling. Then turns out that after that I went to check the map, and I realized that the highest mountain was in front of me, so it was a bit demoralizing lah. Yeah, so but the problem is that because we went there not on like legal passes, so we couldn't go into the Potala Palace. It was off limits to us, and you have to go through a tour agency, get all your papers done and whatsoever. We didn't have that time or that money to do that back then, so I didn't go in. But I heard the cheapest thing inside is gold. Like the cheapest thing you can find inside is gold because everywhere is gold. So like I think the jewelry, like the shells and everything, they are like more expensive than gold. And this is the summer palace. We took some time off to go to the Songzhan Lingsi, which is the summer palace of the Dalai Lama. They had some festival there when we went there. So there was like you see the Lama here was teaching about some Buddhism teachings, like Buddhist Mandela and stuff like that, in exchange for some money. So people actually pay him to teach them about stuff. And the people camp here. They camp for a few. It's like a big party lah, like a big overnight party. Everybody comes here. After this festival, everybody goes back again to their villages. It's a very nice place. In the morning you wake up to nice scenery like this, and it makes all the climbing worthwhile lah. Yeah, so this is some of the things we experienced as well on the way. You see that right hand corner, that's actually hail. We were pelted with hail every single day since Lhasa. Because the altitude went up, the mountain was higher, and also the weather just changed constantly. And because I think in the morning a lot of water vapor goes up and it cannot pass through the Himalayan range, so it gets into precipitation right at the southern slope. So you get a lot of hailstorm every day, and some is as big as a marble, so it's very painful. So we always find some cave or some mountainous place to take cover. Yeah. And there are a lot of ruins as well, like you see on the bottom left corner. This used to be a citadel or something, but as time goes by, I think they filled this place with water. This became a reservoir in the end, so that's why I think the old architecture was gone. Yeah, this is some of the people we met along the way. Tibetans are really nice people. I have been indebted to them for a lot of things, including a lot of, like, I've punctured my tires one day for 5 times. And by the 5th time, I totally gave up. I said, okay, I'll just stay here for the night. So I stayed in their house. They couldn't speak a single Chinese, so basically we gestured our way whatsoever. But they got my tire, I fixed my tire, but they got me the water and everything, and the food and everything. So they're very nice people. And they're actually very poor. Also, because Tibet is one of the lowest income provinces in China. This is, but they have received significant government support over the years. So this is the 5,000 km mark. Actually, you can see there, that's some La Zi Cun or something like that. So that's the 5,000 km mark from Shanghai. So I was there at the 5,000 km mark, and I was understandably happy because almost 300 km, 400 km later, I'll be out of the country at Zhangmu. So I'll be relieved of all these stress from the checkpoints the police whatsoever, the harassment from all these things. Yeah. So you have nice people along the way, to nice pictures. I didn't do anything to the picture. This was the real picture. This was a very nice place. And you see that on the left, there's a peak jutting out from the clouds. That's Everest. Yeah, so we were just below the Everest, but because we didn't have papers, we couldn't go to the base camp. We were just very near to the base camp, maybe like 50 kilometers away, but we couldn't go there because of lack of papers. But you see that snow peak there, it's not very clear but the snow peaks is the Himalayan range. So once you cross the Himalayan range, you are in Nepal. So this part is very it's all the very the north-facing part of the Himalayas is very dry. There's no rain whatsoever, so everything is dry and very dreary. Yeah, so this was the last peak I made before I came down. I remembered because my friend came back to Lhasa. My partner came back to Lhasa. And came back to Beijing. So I finished the last part myself. But this peak was 5,200 meters, and I thought that this was the last peak. So when I went down, I was very happy. I was thinking on the map it's like 200 kilometers downhill. So you don't need to cycle for one day. You just basically just slide your way down, and just finish the journey. But I was wrong, because once I reached the peak and I tried to go down, the downhill was. I needed to pedal downhill because of the wind tunnel. This is a Himalayan wind tunnel, the lowest part of the Himalayan range. So all the wind goes into this place. And I was imagining if I took the reverse direction, if I cycled up, I didn't have to cycle much. I'll probably be pushed back by the wind. But this particular downhill slope is a very steep gradient, but yet I had to cycle. So I was very, very tired when I reached the place. I was intending to go out of China this very day, but I didn't make it. I took 2 days instead. Yeah, so this explains how much wind there was. Yeah, so suddenly I took a turn on the last day. I took 2 days instead of 1. So the second day, I came out to this junction where I had to turn right, remember? And once I turned right, I saw this scenery here. I was totally dumbfounded because for 20 plus days, I didn't see any greenery. Everything was yellow and dry and everything. Then suddenly I see this like very, very green, like Jurassic Park like that. So I was very happy. So I took a shower in that place there. Yeah, so to commemorate the place, I took a picture of the place. I didn't shower for many days, understandably, there's no water. Yeah. So this is the friendship bridge between Nepal and China. This is the only 2 access points from Nepal to China, which explains the lack of trade between the 2 countries because it's very, very difficult to get things across this border. And despite that, there are still many people who actually do trading. We see that trucks on the left. These are stuck there because of a landslide that happened a week ago, just before our arrival. And the trucks has been here, some trucks are parked here for months. So they just, the people just stay here, they sleep on their trucks, they do whatever they want on the trucks, but they cannot go through to Nepal or China because of the landslide. So I successfully crossed into Nepal and I was very relieved. I was very happy because I could use my passport once again like a legitimate person. Like I didn't have to like hide around and stuff like that. And once I was here, I was trying to find the visa place to make the visa because no one makes the visa here. Actually, nobody uses this entrance. No foreigner uses this entrance. I was probably the first guy in the many months to do this, so nobody knew what to do. I went through the gates and I had to find shop by shop for the immigration checkpoint. Like there was no one to chop your passport, so I went into every place to find the guy who actually makes the visa. And so happens that the guy who was supposed to make the visa, he didn't have the chop to stamp my entry. So he said like, okay, it's fine, just mention my name. He gave me a name card, said just take this name card, go to any checkpoints along the way, they will let you through. So I was like, okay, fine, since I have your word for it, I took his number and I went through. So after that, I reached certain checkpoints where they wanted to see the stamp and I just gave them the name card and everything was settled. So I think this is how they do it in Nepal. Yeah, so this is the landslide. The landslide here is very, very serious because it claimed 300 lives. This was originally a village below the river there, but it was completely wiped out by the landslide. And you see the people on the right here. Probably it's a bit blur, but you can see the people holding on, carrying the goods manually by their shoulders. So these are the goods that you see on the trucks. So they have to carry it through the bridges to the other side for another waiting truck to bring it across. So this is how the landslides affects the people there. Yeah. So I had to carry my bicycle across here there's a 9 km detour. So at first I thought, I could do it myself, so I carried my bicycle. I didn't want any local help. Then halfway through, I just gave up because you just go up all the way, then come down from the other side. And I had too many stuff on, so I just paid a local guy to help me take it over. And they were very nice about it because, their houses were destroyed by the landslide, so this is the only means of survival. Yeah, so Nepal has long historical ties with China. As you can see from the top left-hand picture, this is the Dolagat Bridge. Was built by China in 1966. And till today, it has not been maintained. It has been like this since 1966. And the roads are, since the whole road from the Nepal-Tibetan border to Kathmandu is built by China. But since then, they have not done any renovation works to it. So the whole road is potholed and in a very bad condition. Yeah, and anyway, the daily meal I had was dao bat. If those who've been to Nepal, you know every day eat the same thing, just dao bat, dao bat, dao bat. Then everything is refillable except for the meat. So I had like 3 servings of rice, 3 servings of vegetables. Just cannot eat more meat . Yeah, so this is a nice terrace farming at Dulikhel, which is on the way to Kathmandu. It's very nice. On a nice day, you can actually see the Himalayan range behind. But in summer, you cannot see it because it's too much rain. So but behind, just imagine, you can see all the mountains behind. So this is some nice places in Baktapo. This was before the earthquake. So after the earthquake, I think most of it is destroyed. But before the earthquake, you could see a lot of things. Yeah, nice places. This is the Duba Square. Yeah, and this is a few other things I ate besides Dao Bat. This chop suey, I think. Chop suey is a international Chinese food elsewhere in not a Chinese place. And this is some local noodles that's very spicy. I don't know the name, but I just ate it every breakfast. Yeah. Then these people taking a bath in the river, and the local houses are also very nice here. And this is Fiwa Tower, which is Pokhara. After I reached Kathmandu, I decided not to cycle anymore because I just felt like, this is enough of cycling. So I rented a motorcycle and I went to Pokhara, which is 200 kilometers away. So it's pretty accessible. But the roads are crazy. It's disgusting, the roads. So yeah, this is me on the bike, and along the way it's a very nice scenery. So if you guys want to do it and you guys can ride a motorbike, please do it. Like take the Kathmandu to Pokhara route by motorcycle because you can see much more. Yeah, then that's all. Yeah, I'll make an advertisement. So so if you guys want to follow us or see more pictures, you can log on to this Brute Force Expeditions to see us. Thank you.